Welcome to Lynn Educational Television. I'm Afton Dean, bringing you Lynn Classical Volleyball as they take on Revere in this matinee game. Classical off to a fast start here and make it 5-1. Classical coming into this game undefeated. Pamela Carey back to serve for Classical. Revere with some good defense, saving it there. Warren tips it to Brinkler.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, it's still recording right now.
And that's going to hit the net.
Okay, sorry for that.
And Classical will pull ahead by 5, 6-1 here early on in the first set. Pamela Carey will serve one more time for Classical. And Revere can't save it with some defense. Make it 7-1 Classical. And Revere gonna get a quick timeout here as Classical off to a fast start out of the gate, 7-1. And we'll take a short break. And when we come back, we will pick up this first set. And we come out of the timeout. We'll see if Revere made some adjustments. Classical up 7-1 in this first set. Pamela Carey back to serve once again for the Rams. And who would have thought we would be playing volleyball in April? Nice defense by Classical. And that's going to be a point for Revere. Chloe Clement made a nice bid, but just out of bounds. And Revere turns the favor. Just outside of that line, out of bounds. And Classical takes an 8-2 advantage here. Samantha Thoen will serve for Classical. Classical with some nice defense here. And Revere going to pick up a much needed point. And as mentioned, volleyball in April, as this is the fall 2 season as part of the modified schedule. And off the hands of Brooke Warren. And Revere within 4 here in this first set. 8-4. But it's great to see all these teams back in action as that hits the net. And Classical will get the point. Now leading at 9-4. But as I mentioned, it is great to see everyone out here competing. It's been a long wait for all these student athletes in their individual sports. Revere keeping it alive with some good defense. Going for Classical. And Revere unable to keep it alive, and it's going to be another point for Classical here in this first set. Chloe Clement back to serve for the Rams. She will serve again. She's joined by Samantha Thoen. And Revere just unable to stop the Rams at this point. Classical pouring it on here in this first set. Nice dig by Classical to keep it alive. And a nice bid there by Chloe Clement. Goes to the parquet floor. And Revere will grab a point here. Clement over the net and going to be out of bounds. She'll give another point to Revere here in this first set. Oh, a nice save. And it's going to be a point for Classical as that hits the net. And back to serve is Reese Brinkler, also a basketball player here at Lynn Classical, multi-sport athlete. She will serve. Gonna set up throwing and it hits the net, so Revere will pick up another point here. Nice save by Revere. And point Revere. Nice defense. Revere is within 5 at 13-8 here in this first set. And Revere will be serving, looking to inch a little bit closer here. Good save by Revere. Better save by the Rams. And another point for Revere. So that's 3 unanswered points. Isabella Fazler made initially a nice defensive stop for the Rams. And we're going to get a quick timeout by Lynn Classical as Revere inching a little bit closer here in this first set. Classical got off to a very fast start, but is now 13-9. Revere within 4 here in the opening set. We return here to the first set. And Classical took a much-needed timeout there, looking to slow down Revere, who's on a little run here. They're within 4, 13-9. Set and nice save. That was Chloe Clement initially for Classical with some great defense, but Revere comes away with another point. And Revere on a little run here in this first set. Revere within 2, 13-11. And that hits the net. That front row for Revere looking to get set there, unable to do that. And much needed point for Classical. And another forced error, 14-12 Classical serving, and that is Isabella Fazler serving for Classical. Set and point Classical as that hits the net. Fazler will be serving again for the Rams. And point Revere. Point Classical. And Brooke Warren checks into this game. She'll be back serving for the Rams. She's joined by Faisler and Brinkler in the back right now for Classical. And point Classical, nice serve. Brooke Warren with the ace. Warren, of course, an outstanding softball pitcher. Of course, spring sports were brought to a halt last spring with COVID-19. And Classical unable to save it. Both teams playing an up-tempo pace here in this first set. Revere serving. And give them another point. I'll come back to Revere, who will serve. Looking to get a little bit closer here. And instead, point for Classical as that serve hits the net. Pamela Carey back into the game and serving for the Rams. Great bid by Revere. But nonetheless going to be a point for Classical. Clement. Going to set up Clement again. And point Classical. Nice job, Chloe Clement. Clement doing damage here in this first set. Pamela Carey will be back to serve again for the Rams. And Revere can't do anything with that. Credit Chloe Clement one more time in this opening set. Back to Pamela Carey, who will be serving once again for Classical here. Nice defense by the Rams. They're going to say that it hit the ground, so it will be a point for Revere. Good bid by the Classical defense. Set and more good defense by the Rams, but again that hit the ground. It's going to be 21-17 here in this opening set. Classical on top by 4. They got out to a quick start in this one. Revere has got themselves back into the game, and that won't help the cause. 22-17, Classical on top here. Samantha Thoen will be serving for Classical. And we're going to get a timeout for Revere. Looking to salvage this opening set and go on a little run here. But Classical leads it here, 21-17. And we'll be back after this short break. And we return here, first set. Classical will be serving Samantha Thoen. And Chloe Clement with another nice bid there. Thoen saves it. Gonna set up Clement again. And just out of bounds. And it's going to be a point for Revere to make it 22-18. They set up Clement nicely there, just outside of the line. And Classical unable to do anything with that. 22-19. Revere responding out of the timeout. Revere will be serving. Basler to Clement and hits the net. It is now a 22-20 game. It looked like it was going to be all Classical here in this opening set. Revere has settled in nicely. And point for Classical as that is out. 23-18. Chloe Clement will be serving. Thoen and Carey in the back row there. Brinkler, Basler, and Jocelyn Mensah up front for Classical right now. We get the 24th point of the set. 24-18. Clement serving. And just some miscommunication there on the Classical defense. And they turn it over to Revere. And point Classical. And that will do it here in this opening set. So Classical looked like they lost a little bit of steam coming in throughout this first set, but rebound nicely and they take it 25-21 and they lead it 1-0 here as we head into the second set of this match. We move into the second set. Classical took the first set 25-21. Pamela Carey led the Rams there in that first set with 6 service points. Brooke Warren and Chloe Clement each added 4 service points. And Chloe Clement had 4 kills. Reese Brinkler added 2 additional kills there in that first set. Just a little roundup as we head into set number 2. Going, gonna set up Clement. Nice defense by Revere. And give the point to Revere. 1-0. Leading this second set. Classical evens it up at 1-1. That first set was a fast mover. Classical came out of the gate strong. Revere, credit them. They got back into it. Clement. Nice defense by Revere. Ooh, good defense at the net. That was Reese Brinkler. And point for Classical. On a bounce. Brooke Warren serving. Classical leading it 2-1. Second set. If you're just joining us, Classical took the first set. 25-21. And some miscommunication up front for Revere leads to another Classical point. Brooke Warren serving. And that's going to hit the net and be a point for Revere. Revere within 1 here early on in the second set. 3-2. Classical on top. Revere serving. And we're tied at 3. And Revere will have the ball here. Nice dig. That was Jocelyn Mensa, number 15. I'm sorry, make that number 5. It was Annabelle Dow for Classical, who initially had a nice dig there. But Revere will take a point, and they pull ahead here, 4-3. Throw-in saves it for Classical. Nice defense. That one took her to the sidelines. Both teams keeping it alive here, going back and forth. Throw-in going to set up Clement. And just outside of the line. Nice bid by Clement. And in the second set, this is the first lead Revere has had in the game. And now this is their largest lead at 6-3. Largest lead of the game. They never led in that first set. It was all Classical. And Classical will break the 4-0 run. Make it 6-4. Samantha Thoen back to serve for Classical. Thoen and Dow come together there. And Revere finds some space to make it 7-4. Revere serving, looking to extend their lead here in this second set. And off the hands of Dow, out of bounds. Make it 8-4. Revere with the ball. And right into the net. Unforced error. We'll get Classical a little bit closer here. Chloe Clement back to serve for the Rams. Brooke Warren and Samantha Thoen in the back row for Classical at the moment. Both teams playing some good defense here. Warren saves it. Clement. And nice save by Fazler. And going to be a point for Classical. Nice save for Revere, going out of bounds. Set. Nice dig by Thoen. And Clement out of bounds. So Revere with another point. Both defenses playing pretty well. Active on both sides. And point for Classical as that hits the net. And that will be Reese Brinkler back serving for Classical. Thoen and Clement in the back row right now for Classical. Thoen with the dig, goes to the floor. Nice play. And Classical with a point. Brinkler will serve one more time for Classical. And you're going to hit the net. Unforced error. And making another point for Classical. Fazler, Andrew Vasquez, and Mensa in the front row for Classical at the moment. Brinkler serving. And Feisler and Mensah come together there. Can't save it for the Classical defense. And a much closer second set here. And off the hands of Clement. Both coaches letting them play here a little bit. I thought I was foreseeing a timeout on the Classical side to slow Revere down. And point for Classical. Of course, Coach Frank DeLuca, who took over this program when volleyball first started here at Classical, has been extremely successful and seems to produce a quality team year after year, a winning team. So this program has come a long way since it began. Feisler will be back here to serve for Classical. And that just ends up in no man's land. And going to be a point for Revere. And hits the net. Unforced error. Give Classical a point. And that's number 4, Pamela Carey, serving for Classical. Nice serve. Revere can't do anything defensively. Give the Rams another point. Pamela Carey serving for Classical. And the officials look at each other. It is going to be a point for Classical. Both officials looking at each other. Is it out? And then they finally come together and give Classical a point. Carey serving again. Set. Nice play. Revere. Give them a point. Much more competitive second set here. Revere bench on their feet. Fighting a spark. As Revere looks to even up the match here, 1-1. Looking to pick up a win here in the second set. Winkler to Clement. Hits the net. And going to be a point for Revere. Classical going to have to come from behind in this set. And nice defense at the net for Revere. Clement denied. And they're going to give a point to Revere. Revere back to serve. And that ends up inbounds. So that will be a point for Classical. And Brooke Warren back into the game. She'll be serving for Classical. And they could use some help from her at this point. And point for Classical. Warren will be serving again. And Revere cannot do anything with that. So Brooke Warren, in under a minute, has provided a spark for the Rams. And that's out, so it's going to be Classical point. Brooke Warren will be back to serve again for Classical. Classical, 3 unanswered points since Warren has checked into the game. So difference maker for Classical right now. Senior Brooke Warren. Sends it over. And Revere can't return it. And going to be a point for the Rams. 4 consecutive service points for Brooke Warren as she's entered the game. And Classical on a little run here. Revere going to call a timeout. Good look at the Classical side. Now to the Revere huddle. And Revere trying to break up the momentum of Classical at this point in the second set, with Classical leading at 20-15. Revere led momentarily, but Classical has jumped out in front by 5, 20-15. We'll take a short break and we'll be back to wrap up this second set. And we return from the timeout. Revere looking to break up the Classical momentum. Classical, of course, took that first set. Revere looking to even it up here in the second set, but they're going to have to come from behind if they have any plans of making it 1-1. That hits the net. Okay. Classical, some good defense. Revere can't do anything there. Make it 21-15. Classical up 6. Warren serving. And that's going to be out. Give the point to Revere. 21-16. Revere serving. And Revere unable to do anything. Classical grabs another point. 22-15, up 7 here. Looking to take a 2-0 lead in the match. And they have been on a complete tear to start the season. Of course, undefeated. And really with some dominating wins early on in the season. Good defense there by Thoen. Set. Classical with some good defense around the net. And give them a point. Revere kept it alive momentarily, but Thoen will be back to serve for the Rams. Nice save, but was just a little bit too far out. That took her, and Revere unable to recover. And we're actually going to get a timeout here by Revere, 24-16, and we'll take a short break. Unexpected timeout there by Revere, but Classical well in command. After falling behind Revere in this set, they're now up 8, 24-16. And Samantha Thoen will be serving. And point for Classical, and that will be the match. And that will be the set. Classical takes it 25-16, despite the strong start in the set by Revere. So Classical leading this match 2-0, and we will return for the third set. After a slow start, Classical took that second set, and thanks in large part to Brooke Warren, who is serving. She had 5 consecutive service points on her second serve. And Classical going to start off with a 1-0 lead here. Chloe Clement also had 4 kills in that second set to lead the Rams, who lead this match 2-0. Warren serving. And nice defense at the net. It was Andrew Vasquez. And that's going to be out, so give a point to Classical. 2-0 lead here to start the set. Looks like Revere was going to make it close in that second set. We're even leading at one point, their first lead of the game. And nice bid by Reese Brinkler. Revere puts their first point on the board here in this third set. Classical, of course, leading it 2-0. And unforced error. Classical leads it 3-1. And Pamela Carey checks into the game. She'll be serving. And Revere unable to do anything defensively there, and ball will come back to Carey, who will serve for Classical. Warren to Thone, going to Brinkler. And Classical grabs another point. Good start to the set for Classical. Pamela Carey back to serve. Warren to Thoen. Sets up Brinkler. Revere with some nice defense, but throw it right into the net. So point for Classical. Carey back to serve. Nice dig for Revere defense. They're going to set up Clement. And Revere unable to save it. So Chloe Clement, who has been tough on the Revere defense today, continues her strong game for the Rams. And with that, Revere is going to call a timeout to stop this momentum for Classical, who has come out in this third set looking like a team who wants to win in straight sets. Good look into the Classical huddle there with Coach Frank DeLuca. And I just need to reiterate one more time, he has done an outstanding job with this program year after year, and has been the only coach in the history of the program as the program's been around for nearly a decade. So still fairly new. And we find ourselves at 7-1. Classical well in command of this third set. Carrie's ready, and she'll serve. Set. Good defense by Classical. And Brinkler right there at the net. Classical leads it 8-1. Carrie serving. And that is Pamela Carey. Warren to Brinkler. We're going to set up Clement. Revere. Fortunes to save it there. And Revere will pick up a point. Within 6, 8-2. And that heads out. So Revere with 2 straight points to make it 8-3. Classical looking to stay unbeaten on the season. And give them a point. Their 9th of the set. 9-3. Samantha Thoen back to serve for the Rams. Nice serve by Thoen. 10-3. Classical on top. Thoen serving. And that's going to be out. So Revere will pick up a point off the unforced error. 10-4 Classical on top. In what has been a match in which Classical has been well in control. And Revere picks up a point. Classical looking to take this one in straight sets. And keep their unbeaten streak alive. They set up Clement. And Revere colliding there. Unable to save it. Chloe Clement will rotate in and serve for Classical. And the Revere defense unable to respond right now, and Classical well in control. 12-4 here. Basler tried to tip it over the net. Unable to do so. And give Revere their 5th point of the match. 12-5. Nice save by Clement. She dove for that to save it initially. Then some miscommunication between Brinkler and Clement. Revere within 6 here, 12-6. Revere serving. And off the hands of Brinkler. They will give Revere a point. And we're going to get a timeout on the Classical side as Revere quietly making a little run here to try to get back into this and salvage a set here in the match. In what has been a match where it's been all Classical up until this point. And we'll take a look at the scoreboard. And as you can see, Classical had led it, or was well in command of this set. Revere making a little bit of a run here, 12-8. Coach DeLuca calls the timeout, hoping to slow down Revere here. Revere will serve out of the timeout. Set, and Classical keeps it alive. And that's going to hit the net. Revere runs out of room. Make it 13-8 Classical. Back up 5. Reese Sprinkler back to serve for the Rams. Revere will give a point to Classical. 14-8. That's going to be out. 15-8. Classical 3 unanswered points after Revere had gotten within 4, called the timeout. Classical called the timeout and have responded well. Sprinkler over the net. Revere looking to make something happen here. And make up some ground in this match. And Dow, Andrew Vasquez. Initially I thought that was Annabelle Dow, but it was Andrew Vasquez. Came out of nowhere there. Reese Brinkler will be serving for Classical. And nice defense at the net for those Jocelyn Mensa. Classical picks up another point. Brinkler will serve one more time. And Classical well in control of this third set. Looking like a team who wants to take this in straight sets. And that's hit by Brinkler into the net. So we'll give Revere their 9th point of the set. They will have the ball serving here. And point for Classical. Too many touches on the Revere side. So well in command here. That will be Isabella Fazler serving for the Rams. And both officials look at each other. That was just outside of the line. So Revere will pick up a point here. Looking to make a little run. And make this interesting in what has been all Classical this afternoon. Revere picks up the point. That skims the net. And the Classical defense unable to do anything there. Clement sends it over. And Revere picks up another point. And right into the net, unforced error. Classical picks up the point. Brooke Warren will check back in as they rotate. And she will be serving upon re-entering. Of course, she was a big part of that win in the second set, picking up 5 consecutive service points. Revere challenging the Classical defense at the net, picks up a point. Nice save initially by Classical, but Revere comes up with a point. Revere inching a little bit closer here. Warren volleys it over. And a nice play by Revere. And suddenly the momentum has shifted a little bit here in this third set. Classical looked like it was well on their way to cruising past Revere in this third set. Revere making it interesting. And then hits the net, and point's going to be awarded over there to Revere. And point Revere. And Coach DeLuca up out of his seat on the Classical side. They're not happy that his team's making this set interesting. And we're going to get a timeout on the Classical side. So Revere making this third set interesting. We'll take a short break and we will return for the rest of this third set. It was all Classical in this third set, and Revere is within 2 at 19-17. And tipped over the net. Nice job by Samantha Thoen. Classical up 3, 20-17. Credit Revere for making this one interesting. Pamela Carey will rotate in, serving for Classical. And the Rams defense cannot save that. So point for Revere. They'll be serving down 2 in this third set. Of course, Classical leading the match 2-0. Clement calling for it. Nice save by the Revere defense. Both teams going back and forth, keeping it alive. And that's going to be out, and Classical will grab a point. Classical bench likes what they see. Samantha Thoen serving for Classical. And that's out. Classical on the verge here of a match win in straight sets. And Revere, like in the second set, going to take a timeout here. They did the same thing in that second set as Classical was on the verge of victory. Revere hoping they have one last run in them to extend this match to a fourth set. Of course, the Rams have other ideas leading it here. 2-0. And this match, or the set, sits at 22-18. And Classical looking to shut the door here. Samantha Thoen back to serve for Classical. And just outside of the line. Good bid by Thoen. Going to be a point for Revere. 22-19. Nice play by Thoen. Laying out, trying to save that. Point goes to Revere. A good effort by Samantha Thoen. Your Coach DeLuca, you can't be mad at that. And Revere grabs another point. So that timeout looking good on the Revere end as they have regained some momentum here. Classical needs a big play. We go to Clement. Their defense responding. And Classical able to respond. Again, credit Revere for making this set close. That'll be Chloe Clement back to serve. We're going to close it out here for the Rams. Thoen, Fessler, and over the net, and point for Classical. Classical on the verge of picking up the win. Chloe Clement serving for the Rams. And that will do it. Classical taking it in straight sets. In that third set, Chloe Clement led the way with 4 kills. Reese Brinkler added 2 additional kills. For the match, Brooke Warren and Pamela Carey led the way with 13 service points apiece. Reese Brinkler added 7 service points for the Rams. Chloe Clement, strong game with 12 kills, and Reese Brinkler added 4 kills. Izzy Fessler and Samantha Thoen, both strong games up front for Classical, picking up 7 assists apiece. Samantha Thoen also had a strong defensive game with 12 digs, and Fessler also had 7 digs. So Classical improves to 3-0, stays unbeaten here against Greater Boston League foe Revere. Again, 3-0 Classical takes this in straight sets. I'm Afton Dean. A special thanks to my camera crew. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time on Lynn Educational Television.